What's going on, everybody? This is the Burn Down. Today's episode, we got a very special guest, very good friend of ours. Eric, tell them who it is.
It's that big, bad boss man, Shawn, a.k.a. Cigar Boss Man, as you all know him. So if you're into that, which we already know you are, stay tuned because it's the Burn Down.
It's the Burn Down.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another great episode of the Burn Down. As you know, as we stated earlier, we have a special guest, the big boss man himself, Shawn, Cigar Boss Man. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Living the dream out here.
Doing as good as we can for not leaving the house in 3 weeks.
Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you something. I would enjoy that. I've been going to work, so I still have to work.
I know.
God bless you, brother, and thank you so much for doing what you got to do. So, because I don't know if everybody knows, but Shawn's in law enforcement, so he's still got to go out there and protect all of us during this coronavirus. So we appreciate that, brother.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I think his good looks give it away that he's in law enforcement. I wouldn't expect anything else.
Is a fucking square head?
It's the mug. It's the nice face.
The mug.
Like a badass.
It's the mug.
It's the mug.
So it looks like you're in your I've seen on Instagram your Winnebago or your trailer.
Yeah, I'm in my motorhome.
Nice.
So do you smoke in there?
I recently just started doing it because I had some issues with some water that I got to clean some stuff up, and so I just said, fuck it, this is my little castle. I'm gonna smoke in it, and I just recently
bake
started.
It out.
Yeah. I got a rabbit air system filter. I got everything filterized, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, how is that rabbit air? I know I don't have one, but I see people use it.
I love it. I use it in the basement when I'm in the house. I bring it in the house and I use it there, and within a day, you don't even smell the cigar smoke.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are really, really cool. I saw that you could put them on the wall. They have the standalone unit.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get one of those for in here because it gets pretty damn smoky sometimes.
I'm actually getting another one sent to me because it's that good.
Oh,
so
wow.
I kind of collaborated with them and talked to them, and I'm going to be working with getting another one, and I really enjoy them. So they're pricey, but it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get what you pay for, no doubt.
Right.
And they can do a rather large room, if I'm not mistaken, right?
This one clears my whole basement, and I got a pretty good sized basement. So I think you're looking at probably at least 1,000 square foot you can clear, maybe more.
Yeah. That's more than enough for what we got in here.
You could probably do more from what I read, but hey.
Because I was down in Nashville. I was at a cigar lounge when I was road tripping from Texas to New York, and I stopped off, and that was the only form of ventilation they had was rabbit air. They had them like 4 of them plastered on the walls.
It works. I believe in them. I work. They work for me. So
sweet. So what are we smoking on? What are we drinking on?
Yeah, I was gonna say we got to start there.
We can get
like the key.
Oh baby, the bull, the Andalusian bull. That's a good one.
The bull.
That's and I just opened this, and it's gonna be my first crack at this privately selected Knob Creek.
Ooh.
My father loves Knob Creek too.
I took a little sip ahead of time to make sure I wasn't going to die. It's some strong fucking lead.
We figured Boss Man loves his bourbon, loves his whiskey. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be drinking. We're doing bourbon.
So I whipped out the good stuff. I think I told you I got some of this, some Blantons.
Oh, the Blantons, love that shit.
So I had to whip out the good stuff, and then I got the Liga Privada T52.
Love that too. The Blanton's a great morning dram. It's really nice. Not overbearing, not too strong.
Yeah.
So I have the Woodford Reserve, a little Woodford Distiller Select, and then
I just killed mine yesterday.
Well, this one I actually found is the reason why it's got this funky ass top is the cork was all messed up and it exploded and it fell into the. So I actually had to filter this 2 more times and then pour it back into the bottle because of all the cork in there. But I'm drinking that, and then I got the Sencillo Black.
Bring that closer. Let's see that one.
Yeah.
This is the Pyramid number 2, I believe. I don't know if you can
I
see
never
it.
tried that one.
Where'd that come from? Is that from Luxury Cigar?
Yes, it did. So Sencillo Edición Limitada 2015.
Nice.
Sencillo Black number. It's a flying pig, basically. I don't know if you can. It's not really focused.
I've never tried it, so let me know what you think. Well, I'm ready if you guys are.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
We're ready to rock, man. We're ready to go.
This is our favorite part.
Well, first we'll do a quick cheers.
Yeah, so let me pour this in.
Yeah, Shawn, thank you for coming out here, my friend.
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm going to leave that open because I know I'm going to be drinking more.
We can take what we get.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
On the gullet.
Salute.
Eric backed down on us. You didn't finish
Well,
it.
you didn't.
Oh, I got a whole thing ready.
You got to finish it. That's what I did. Oh, brother. Oh, it's got to go.
you got to open up the gullet.
Jeez.
Now we pour one to sit
I might be falling off the chair if I did that.
Let me.
I might have had a little tiny bit of cork in that one because I felt something slide down my throat, but fuck it. I got the boss man here. I got to take it right to the gullet.
I know. I mean, if we got the boss man, I got to stop with my drinking. So.
Well, we're not going to go too crazy. I've cut back a little bit because of this virus and shit and all the working. Let me ask you guys something. I'm going to put it out there that I'm no cigar aficionado. A lot of people like asking me questions. I don't do a ton of research on my cigars. No training, no nothing. Been doing it since I was 10 years old. It's what I like or what I don't like. If I don't like it, it's going in a pond. So,
yeah. I remember the infamous video. You were, I think, golfing with your son.
I was golfing with my son. Yeah.
You're like, fuck this, and you just tossed it in the pond. I was dying.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Goodbye. Somebody asked me what I think of this. I just started it. I'm gonna tell you something. I must have spoiled myself. I hate doing this, but I always keep my page real. No, keeping it real.
If you don't like it, fucking toss it.
Have you guys ever tried to light a cigar, though? I heard somebody say this, and I thought it was a crock of shit. But light your cigar before you cut it?
No.
Before you cut it.
Before you cut it.
I honestly, I think I've done it, but only by mistake. Yeah. And I believe it or not, I did it last episode when we were talking with brother BOTL.KWT.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't catch it because I started lighting it, and I was just like, oh shit, I never cut it. So then I cut it.
Well, I do it a couple of times just to try it. Somebody mentioned it one time. Trial and error with cigars. I actually kind of like the theory behind it. I don't know if it's accurate, but you don't get the match or anything drawn through the cigar right off bat. So you're just getting it going. You're letting the air hit it. Usually takes about 3 matches to get it nicely sparked up.
I'm going to Google that. That's probably
nothing's going through the cigar. You're just
nothing's drawn through the cigar. None of the garbage from the matches or whatever. If you're not using proper matches or proper fuel to light.
One thing I certainly do is I let the match burn.
Yeah.
About a quarter of the way through to get all the sulfur and everything out of the match head.
Yeah, and that's the objective of this apparently, is to do it that way, and it won't draw all that shit through your cigar. Now, does it work? I've done it both ways, and sometimes I like it this way because my cigar does taste a little different.
I'm going to have to try that. That's an interesting theory. I never heard of that before either. But let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I did it last time by accident. And,
on the bowl, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use my straight cut. Just a little tip off.
Nice little table cutter. All right.
Yeah.
I see you.
I love it. Those things are great.
Take the little tip there. Now, I don't know if you guys done this before. I've straight cut this before, and then I V cut it. Okay? And it's just my preference. I like the feeling on my tongue.
Yeah, I'm a big straight cut guy. I don't V cut anything. I straight cut all day, every day.
This one's usually a straight cut. So.
Yeah, I mean that's what I got the XI2 Cigar. I mean it's a good cutter. It keeps it nice and smooth and makes a nice
Yeah.
little.
Same thing, right? And then, of course, the
Speaking of that, because of you, Justin, telling me about those inserts, I got my lighter out and I got another one from the warden, and I always loved using my Zippos, but I couldn't use the fuckers. You know, it tarnishes your cigar. It's terrible. But with the insert,
game changer.
It's a game changer.
Done.
Just got it
Touchdown.
for Christmas, and I was like, wow, I've never used anything else. I received other lighters, and I'm like, I can't compare. I used to love using
because I got this one. Like, this is the personalized one. You can't really see it, but it says Dapper Cigar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing. I'm like, great. Thank you so much, but I can't use. And then I just wound up stumbling upon it on Amazon, and I go, wait a second. So I ordered it, and sure as shit, it's beautiful. And the best part about the Zippo is,
that's
just.
As soon as you did that, I got the one from the warden that says my name on it, and then I got this from Amazon, just a custom one, and I love fucking around with them. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm in.
It's the first ever like fidget spinner or fidget thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The first one, man.
Somebody making sick money off of that because we're fucking retarded. We got to play with things. I've been playing with things a lot longer than that.
So we're all lit up. We're all poured out.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
First question. When did you start with cigars? You said you've been smoking since you're like, what, 10 years old?
Yeah, me and my brother were kind of wild guys. And my father used to smoke those wine tip Colts.
Okay.
And I was a big Western fan, a big Clint Eastwood fan. Saw him smoking those little things, and I saw my father have them. So me and my brother decided to steal a pack of his. So the statute of limitation has worn out on that, so I can admit to that. But we took that, and I lit one up, and I loved it. My brother was a big cigarette smoker, but I wasn't. I never smoked cigarettes at all. So, but I got into that, and then, honestly, I can't remember what cigar I moved into after, but I said, I don't like this little girly cigar. I wanted something a little bit better.
Is it your older brother or your little brother?
Older brother. I just recently posted on my story the ugly sibling group, and we look like I don't know. It looks pretty rough.
That's hilarious.
So after those the wine tips or wine wood tips, I'm assuming they were, right? Probably the Swisher Sweets that we had, right?
The little
so after those, what was like the first real cigar?
Maybe Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Monte Cristo, the White Series or something like that. I know it was something like that.
And then after that, you just took off.
I always, I'll be honest with you guys, this page is 3 years old of mine. And I always smoked cheap cigars because I'd bring them to work and you get a hot call and I'd toss it out the window, so I didn't give a shit. And that cigarandpipes.com, Joe there, my buddy, I always went there and got cheap cigars and just started smoking the fuckers. And if I got a call, I threw it out, or I put it on the windshield, and sometimes I forgot, on the wiper there, and I drive away and go, son of a bitch, there she goes. So I never got into really high-end cigars until I started this page.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
This page, I started smoking some pretty good cigars. I'm like, where the fuck have I been?
Once you get the good one, you're like, oh man.
Yeah. It's like me with when I first got my first fitted suit and fitted dress shirts, tailored, I couldn't go back to the store and just get any old button downs. I was like, I can't go back now. There's no going back. So I feel the same way with cigars.
Shirt and tie, but unfortunately my neck is so big I can't get them the shirts custom because it'll cost me a fortune. I don't fit in. That's why you don't see me with a tie too often. Kind of supposed to wear one, but
well, come on, you're a gym bro. You know that there's no such thing as too big.
Nah,
just keep bulking up. You throw out the shirt to get another shirt.
There you go.
Were you born and raised in because you're in the northern upstate New York area? Have you been always in the same spot? Have you moved around at all?
So we'll do some fun facts, huh? I was originally born and raised in Toronto. Canada.
Wow.
I told you he was a northerner.
I'm a northerner.
I
fuck.
told you.
I don't recall saying A too much, but it might slip out. But I was up from Toronto, maybe moved when I was 19, moved to Niagara Falls, Ontario, stayed there about 5. And when I was younger, something was calling me to come to the States. And I just, I just came over. I went through the right process. I didn't run across the,
the bridge.
You did your due diligence. You did it the ethical way. And then how did you end up in law enforcement in the States? Just
oh my gosh, that's a beautiful story. I wonder if I should share that.
Share whatever.
Can you legally share it without getting in
yeah,
trouble?
I can share it because the funny thing is I worked in a psych unit with my wife, the warden. She was the coordinator for psych, and I was one of the head security personnel for the hospital here in our psych unit in the whole hospital. And the police actually worked in the emergency room. And at the time, I ended up getting to know the chief of police and, backing these guys up and just doing my job, as a security personnel. And one day he got in some trouble and I backed him up and he just looked at me and said, take my test. I want you to be a cop. I said, I don't want to be a fucking cop. I mean, I never dreamed of being a cop. My uncle was a police officer up in a small place that don't exist no more in Canada called Wawa, WAWA. And
like
the gas stations.
And so I take this test, and this dumbass scores like top 5 out of a ton of people. So I'm right there. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna end up being a cop. And I wasn't even a citizen yet. So then I had to go through a whole process of ugly nightmares of that and become a citizen. But the warden, she's a citizen of the United States, so that's how it worked out. And then lo and behold, I'm on my 20th year and I'm ready to go soon.
God bless.
I was going to say 25 and out, right?
Here's the 20, my friend.
I'm looking at 25. I think so. Cheers.
Yeah, my uncle was a New York City detective as well, and he did his 20 years, and now he's retired, but he's living a good life. He has a boat. He works part-time, I believe, as a security guard and like a driver.
Mm-hmm.
And, he did his duty, and now he just enjoys life with his kids and his family.
That's how to do it, because a lot of people don't realize the stats say that just listening to that radio all day takes a good 5 years off your life, and all the anxieties and stress of the job can take a lot of years off your life. People don't realize that. There's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of fools out there too that make us look bad, but
yeah.
There's a lot of great people. Right now is a prime example of the country coming together with all our medical staff, doctors, nurses, everybody stepping up and coming together, helping people that are strangers to them. And, they're driving across the country to come to New York City and help people. Man, I don't know if I have that kind of balls with this kind of disease, but, it has to be done.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
And they're wonderful people and they need praise for that. And a lot of times they don't get enough praise. You know what I mean?
I think this will show people, how good it is to have a tight community and, the respect and, the stuff that people take for granted every single day. They don't realize that.
Absolutely. God's showing us something, guys.
Yeah. I think it's amazing how the people that help so much don't get the most amount of appreciation.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? And it's wrong. It should be the exact opposite. They should get the most amount of appreciation. But
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's times like these that we are starting to see people appreciate them more. And I've seen, the firefighters that are coming out and the policemen that are coming out and everybody's going to the hospitals and giving their praise to the hospital workers and even some that aren't necessarily the nurses and the doctors that are taking care of patients. Like, for instance, my mother works in immunology. She's a microbiologist, and she's the one that gets the blood samples and has to test them.
Yeah.
And so she's dealing with coronavirus. She's fully suited and she's testing them.
And she's behind the lines and nobody recognizes it. So, but I think that they're starting to more because it's coming up on social media and people are making it aware that, hey, there's a lot of people that are involved, not just the person that's, taking care of a patient. It's everybody behind the scenes. So I do think that it's stepping up and people are starting to appreciate more. Almost pulled a rookie move. The ass dropped.
Oh boy.
That would have been a good one.
So I agree with that. A lot of people aren't recognizing. I don't want to make this the whole show and topic, but I think with me being in my line of work, it's perfect to be the one person to explain all the stresses that we can bring home, you know, and the stresses we go through. And then when I see across the world the ugliness on both sides, somebody judging somebody, I don't judge anybody.
Yeah.
I try not to be anybody's judge. I mean, you know, I'm nobody compared to anybody else. We're all, I believe, all equal and all that. So, you know, but when you look at people joking around on YouTube making a ton of money, and I'm not going to judge them for making the money because, hey, if you can do it, do it. But then you got these first liners, doctors, nurses, and all that, and some of them not making very much money to save you and I. They need a Hail Mary because that's crazy shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's
call.
I think that it's like if you could flip like all the athletes and all those, you know, they make millions of dollars, but it'd be an interesting world if doctors and police officers and firefighters and teachers all made $1 million salaries.
I wonder if we'd be as humble. I don't know.
It'd be a different world, that's for sure.
It'd be a crazy world. I mean, yesterday I went to my first call and I had to go into the hospital and I haven't been in there in a while. And I was like, holy shit, I got to mask up. I got to do this. I got to do that. They got to take my temperature. It's crazy. It's a crazy time right now. But, you know, think about it back in the day. With all the other pandemics, look at this. We can social medialize. We can talk to each other through Zoom and stuff like that. And this is perfect. You're both in New York City or around the area, correct?
Yeah.
So, and look at, we're talking, and we talked aside from Kuwait the other day when we all communicated. Yeah. People in California and stuff like that. This is a wonderful thing. So this show you guys are doing, I love it. It's fantastic.
Thanks.
So,
well, thank you.
I love it.
We're just trying to bring some positivity and just something what people want to see
that we enjoy. You know, there's a big family here, big family in the cigar world,
exactly.
And it's a great family too. The community is just unbelievable. It's how I again bring it back to technology. It's I find it amazing how right now I'm sitting in the pool house with just a cell phone. There's no wires. There's nothing connected. I mean, I have a charger, but there's no, you know, internet, nothing. And then Eric's sitting in his patio with his laptop that's got no wires. And Shawn, I don't know if you're on your laptop or your computer, but
I'm on my son's laptop because I had problems with the phone last time, so we're on the laptop. But yeah,
there's 3 devices that have no wires and they're just connected to something floating in the sky or floating in space, and we can talk and have a conversation as if you were sitting right here.
Yet the fuckers are all spying on us.
That's funny you bring that up because listen how crazy this shit is.
I just watched a whole video on the internet yesterday about exactly that. How everyone's listening to you from their fucking cell phone.
What about TikTok and all that other shit?
It's crazy.
From this stupid thing right here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was laying in bed with my girlfriend and we were watching a movie. And all of a sudden, there was a scene that came out that showed like the satellites and how many. It was like a futuristic, what the world looks like in 200 years and all the debris and shit around the Earth. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what's crazy is that our Earth, if you were to look at all the satellites, it kind of looks like that. So we went out, we started Googling pictures, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I wonder if they have a live stream of Earth from one of the space stations. And sure as shit, NASA does. They have a live stream that's always on. You can go on YouTube and look at it. So I'm looking at it, and it says like live view from NASA ISS space station, something like that. And it shows you like the world. I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool. So wake up this morning, and this is on my cell phone, okay? Wake up this morning, making a cup of coffee, and we have one of those Alexa Echo things in the kitchen. So I'm looking at it, and sure as shit, first advertisement that pops up, it says NASA ISS space station. Like,
of course.
And that Alexa is not hooked up to my cell phone. It's hooked up to my sister's cell phone. So it's not even like going. So I go, how in the world?
Dude, there's a black market for all our data that is just being consumed by all this
crazy. That's crazy.
I'm like, this is, and it's not even like we had said something because we were up in our bedroom just watching it on my phone, and somehow
Alexa's listening to you though.
It's fucking crazy. So,
dude, you go on Instagram. I was talking to my buddy. I'm like, I need a new mattress. And he told me this one website, this mattress that he bought, Lowell mattresses. And sure as shit, 5 minutes later, I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling, and there's an ad for Lowell mattresses. Ad here, check it out. I'm like,
that's crazy. On your Instagram, because I've seen that happen to me too.
Yeah.
You're
All
doing
the time.
something, Googling something, all of a sudden it's there. I'm like, come on.
All the time.
Yep.
Get back to the cigar shit. Stop sending me this other shit.
That's why I can't be a criminal, because, I mean, how can you be a criminal nowadays? I mean, it's so fucking hard between, like,
You know, some of
security.
the criminals, they put so much time and effort into breaking the law. If they would do something productive, they'd be fucking brilliant.
If they put it into something actually positive, they'd be making a
They'd be
positive change.
fucking recognized, brilliant.
And you spoke about your buddy Cigar Pipes Joe. I know
Yes.
Justin and I just ordered through him, and I mean, I was just telling Justin the other day, like we have so much time, so I legit went through every single cigar website, seeing all the different samplers, seeing all the different offers that they have, and either they were all the same or there wasn't anything really like diverse. And your boy,
He's
Cigar Pipes
stepping
Joe.
up the game. He's my local guy. He's only 10 minutes from me. That's why I'm part of it. You know, there's other people who reached out to me, and I'm not going to judge any other website. I think they're all phenomenal. I think anybody who's in this family is phenomenal and deserves the recognition. But Joe takes care of me, first of all, but I'm seeing him take care of so many people with reasonable prices that you can't beat it. It's
Exactly.
yeah.
All the websites offered good stuff. It just the prices and what he was offering just didn't compare. I mean, I got a 10-pack sampler of a My Father, and it was 10 different My Father cigars, all high quality. I'd at least go for $10 at a minimum, and I got it for $60. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, anybody who wants to check his
unbelievable.
site out, use my code Bossman in my profile, because that's 14%.
I did. I saved like $3 on a Padron, so thanks.
Yeah,
It's
he
great
hooks me
because
up.
I found him through I put out a thing on the story saying, hey, where can I get cigars? And Shawn, I think you actually responded saying, hey, check out these guys. So I checked them out, and like Eric was saying, is they had the sampler packs were just unbelievable. I mean, they had a CAO sampler pack, the country, the Italia, the Colombia, and the two other ones, Brazil and United States, and it was like $16 for 4 cigars. I'm like, that pack is, so that's where I started. I just kept going. And then on top of that, I find that they have one of the widest selections of singles.
Yeah.
Because I wound up just adding singles, because I didn't want to get all boxes. So I actually had a friend reach out just before, because I told Eric about this. I'm like, you got to check these guys out. So I had a friend reach out before and say, hey, where do you have anything online that I can buy a sampler cigars? He goes, I want a sampler. I don't want to buy a full box. I'm like, yo, you got to check out these guys. I'm like, Cigar and Pipes, DM Joe, tell him I sent you. I go, he'll help you out. And he's going to buy a sample pack.
Make sure they use the code, because they get 14% on top of some of his other shit, you know?
He's great.
Awesome.
And what I also like is that he's very responsive. Like, I DM'd him, and he's right away. He's like, oh,
Joe's
no problem.
guy.
I'll get it out to you. And he reached out to me yesterday, and he said, hey, listen, did you get you spent like a certain amount of money or something. Did you get your free cutter or tumbler or something? And he says, he asked me that, and I go, no, I don't think so. I think they gave me like 2 extra cigars. He goes, oh, no problem. He goes, I'm going to put that out tomorrow. So he shipped it today, and it's coming like in a day or so. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Like, he reached out to me, making sure that everything was good.
What I like about his site, and we won't make the whole thing about this, is that I actually can personally go there and look at the selections and get some reasonable deals. I myself purchase from him, but I also get some perks just from being a good friend of his. And it's just, you know, that's why I talk about him, because you know what? I've never heard anybody say anything bad about his performance, his shipment, his you know, taking care of the people. And that's what I want to stand by. This cigar community that we have, let's face it, we're offered so much shit. We're offered a ton of shit. But you got to keep it real. Those cigars, the one time that you guys saw me ditch one, there was another time that a guy sent me some cigars and said he wanted a post. I said, let me try it. And I tried it, and I DM'd, and I said, listen, I'm going to post, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to be fuck no. I don't like your cigar. End of story. Do you want me to do that post? He goes, negative. I said, okay. And you know what? I said to him, I'd gladly pay you for what you sent me, just because I ain't going to post for you. But, you know, it was like just a wash, forget about it. But that's how it is.
And that's what I wanted to say about Shawn. I mean, when he always kept posting about Cigar and Pipes, I'm like, all right, this has got to be good, because I know that you don't take no shit. If it's not good, you're not going to talk about it, and you'll be straight up. So, I mean, that was one reason why I checked it out. But also, when you just threw that cigar, that one post when you were smoking the cigar with your son golfing, you're like, fuck this. I was like, no one else is that like authentic and real. Like, you just You don't see it. They'll be like, "Oh, this cigar is really good, really good." And I want
Eric, if they don't like it, don't
good.
send it to me. If they don't like it, don't send it to me. If you don't want my honesty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't want my honesty, don't send it to me.
I got a cigar company when I started around the same time as you, Shawn, like 3 years ago or so, and a cigar company. I'm not gonna obviously name them, but they were on the lower tier, and they sent me stuff because I was just like, yeah, I'll take free cigars, sure. And I tried it, and it wasn't good, but I put up pictures anyway. And then recently they reached out to me. They're like, hey, we would love to show you some cigars and take pictures of it. And I'm like, listen, I don't want to do it.
Talking about because I got reached out to and I said no thank you.
We'll talk about it off camera, but
we will DM and I'll
because I was like,
I'm not gonna do that.
I appreciate you guys reaching out, but at this time I'm just not gonna do it.
Like I remember I would have I did one where like I'll take the picture and I try to, instead of ripping on them, I'll try to like talk about something that's good about the cigar. Like let's say I just hated the flavor, but let's say it burned pretty well. I'll take the picture from them and I put them up and I'll say like, all right, the burn was good. But I also, like you did, I DM'd them on the side saying, hey, listen, I put the picture up, just giving you constructive criticism, just feedback. I didn't really like the flavor. Construction was well, it burned well, but the flavors just weren't there. Or maybe vice versa. Like, hey, the flavor was good, but the burn was shitty. It was like, it was canoeing. It was this, that, and the other thing. But I'll put it up for them. And then like Eric said, you don't have to work with them again. You can just say, all right, I did it. I put the picture for you. Don't like it anymore.
I'd rather give them my fucking money and say, here's some money for what you sent me. I ain't posting. I don't like your shit. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And forgive me, but you know what? It's my money. Stuff like this, I'm going to boast about because I love this shit. But what bothers me about the LFD, and I met one of the reps in Florida, is you can't get this too often.
No, it's hard.
It's a fucking good cigar. Now, I got one case sitting there I'd love to go through. But I can't. I got this hanging here just for backup if I want to do another one. But this is a good 3-hour cigar.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's top notch.
Mm-hmm.
That's like reminds me of there's one by Drew Estate, the Feral Pig.
Yeah.
Feral Pig's a great, and that's a 3-hour cigar.
You know what's funny?
If you're sitting there and having a conversation, that's going to last.
That's a good cigar, but I hate the shape. I just, it just, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I'm picky.
Yeah,
I'm very picky.
I'm the same way. I judge. I'm like very childish when I look at cigars. Like when I was a kid, I used to like football teams based on their color and their logo, and that's the team I liked. And I still find myself looking at cigars like the way it's shaped and the wrapper. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. It looks kind of cool, so that's what I'm gonna go after. Even though there might be a cigar right next to it that has a little band and it's $40 and it's high quality, I'm probably gonna choose the one that looks a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like
that's marketing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You better know how to market your shit, or else we ain't gonna look at it.
No doubt.
You got it. Like it's like the flying pig. Like this is basically a flying pig, but Drew Estate had the Liga number 9, the T52, and they had the flying pigs.
Yeah. And
at first glance, I'm like, what is that? Like I've never seen a cigar look like that.
Yeah.
And I was at my local shop, and the guy said, "Hey, try the cigar. It matches your flavor profile. You'll like it. And it's a great cigar. I love the flavors. It's very nice." But I told him, like, this is how long? This was it going to last me? A half an hour? Like this is a tiny little thing. I want something that's going to last. He goes, "Trust me, just smoke it." And sure as shit, everybody else was smoking Toros and Robustos, and they were finished, and I was still smoking this thing, and it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's this tiny little cigar.
True, like, because it's a little fucking pregnant fucker.
It was, but it was good. It had good flavors. I always enjoy it.
I mean, even the Andalusian Bull has a little weird shape. It's kind of like a Toro, and then it kind of gets fat at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but I find this unique, the flavors that come out of it. But not only that, it's not too overbearing.
Yeah.
And you know what I like about this cigar? I don't like cigars that got to light more than once, or a couple times. I mean, there's some cigars you just got to keep lighting. This bad boy can sit there. It's a tough cigar. You know what I mean?
So Actually, I don't think we did take our shot.
Yeah. So yeah. So Shawn, you wanted me to? I'll finish the rest of this for you. All right.
We'll do a shot. There you go.
Done. It burns so good. It burns.
I
so
love
good.
it. So, here's my question. So you mentioned how the Andalusian Bull, you love that stick. What are some of your other either favorite brands, favorite sticks, go-to sticks? Like, what are some cigars that you would recommend that you enjoy?
Here's what I love when people say, "What's your favorite stick? What's this? What's that?" Or stick? What's this? What's that? Man, I smoke when I'm in the mood for that day. I'm a moody son of a bitch sometimes, so so I go with my mood. But like today, I knew I wanted the Bull. I knew we were gonna sit here, we're gonna chat. I want something that's gonna last. I want something that's gonna be strong. I went with the Knob Creek because I knew it was strong lead, and I want something to wake me up because I've been working my ass off. So we're looking at. I gotta say the Davidoff Millennium right now is one of my top-notch cigars that I'm pumping into.
Wow.
Padron 1926, love them, or the 45, 46, 85, all the Padrones. There's nothing wrong with those sticks. There's a plenty of cigars out there that I will not pollute your page with for advertising or anything like that, but there's a ton of cigars that I enjoy. But those are just examples of what I'm going to do personally at home. I would say a Davidoff is one of the ones I come home to sometimes and grab a lot. The Andalusian Bulls I would smoke every day if I had the
if you could find them.
if I had the supply. I would smoke that fucking cigar every day if I had the supply. So I guess I always tell people I don't have a favorite. I guess that might be one of my favorites.
It's an excellent stick. It's a fantastic stick.
Yeah, let's go to Cubans. Monte Cristo #2. Okay, the Romeo and Juliet, Wide Churchill. Holy,
one of my favorites too.
That's one of my top Cubans. Yep.
So I mean, it's cigars that everybody's smoking. Okay, is there a cigar I'm smoking that nobody's smoking? Man, I used to smoke an M1 from Smoking Joe's just for my job, and it's a fucking $2 stick. Okay, but it was the psyche about smoking, having a cigar, and one that I didn't have to worry about. I'm not going to smoke a $20 cigar if I'm going to get interrupted. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, I could smoke, and I just love it.
It's one that you could throw in the pond if you had to.
Exactly. Let me ask you guys a question. I don't know if anybody asks you questions on your show.
Yeah, of course.
Eric, start with you. When did you start into cigars? And then the same question to you, Justin.
When did I start? I mean, I grew up around my father and my family always smoking cigars, and I always just liked the way it looked. And the more and older I got, like in high school, I thought just smoking looked cool. So I would smoke like black and mild, like wooden tips at like parties, and like my other friends would want to do it. So we would always like take pictures and be like, "Oh, we're so cool, we're smoking cigars, yeah." And then I started getting into like a lot of those like mafia movies, and I liked the way they dressed, and they always were smoking cigars, and I was like, that's how I want to look. I want to look cool. I want to be like somebody and smoke cigars. And then so then I would get into cigars, but I really wasn't into it like heavily as I am now until, like you said, like 3 or so years ago. I went to Cigar Fest in Pennsylvania, and I came home with a shit ton of cigars. And I lived by myself, and I was working in Connecticut at the time. And I had a big old patio, and I would work, go to the gym, and eat. So I would sit on my porch. I'm like, well, I got all these cigars, and I was friends with Justin, and he already had a cigar page already. So I'm like, you know what? Let me kind of do something with Justin, and let me make a cigar page. And after that, it just took off. I would just take pictures, and I always had a knack for taking pictures. So I was trying to find something where I can incorporate my liking for pictures, and then cigars seemed to be it, and then just took off.
That's why I do what I do with the pictures. I love it.
It just came. So and Justin and I have been friends for the last 5, 6, 7 years through my father, and we just said, you know what? We're two cool dudes. We like to hang out, have a good time. We're not like these superficial people. We like to dress nice and bullshit and talk like, average people.
Keeping it real. That's exactly. What's real. I love that shit. That's why we talk, man. I love that shit. I don't want fake.
I mean, we get people all the time saying, hey, I watch you guys just because it feels like I'm hanging out. Yeah. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people. Like, we have people like in surgery. They're like, hey, man, I just want to be in a cigar lounge while I'm getting surgery, so I watch you guys. And that's what we want to do. We want to feel like we have a global community where we're talking to everybody.
Love it. Justin.
Yeah. So I started I started smoking around like 16, 17 years old. My stepfather was a big cigar guy. Wasn't like really into the cigars, like flavor wise and smoking, the top notch cigars, but he liked having cigars and he would have a cigar a few times a week in the backyard. So I started smoking cigars with him. And then I went away to college and I was still smoking occasionally here and there, but then I got my first humidor when I moved into an apartment by myself. I think I came back for one day for like Christmas or something, got a bunch of cigars, and I brought it back up with me. And I started smoking, like Eric said, on his patio. I would go to school, I'd go to basketball practice, I'd come home, and I'd be just sitting on a patio smoking cigars. So I had a small little humidor. And then probably when I graduated college and I came back, I was like 22 is when I really started, getting into smoking cigars. And then then they opened up a cigar lounge actually across the street from my office. It used to be an old deli. They opened up the cigar lounge. And now it was a blessing and a curse because it made it very convenient to just go over there and, I could get my laptop and sit and post up shop and just work while having a cigar. But the curse was I could go over there and just have a cigar whenever I wanted. So I really would go over there after work and I'd sit and have a cigar. I really got into the flavors and got into the research behind the cigars. And then I did the same to start my cigar page and the rest is history. And I really fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then I realized that the community was so welcoming and so friendly. So that's what really kept me into it was I could and traveling for work, I go to all different cigar lounges. Anytime I go anywhere for work, I try to find a lounge. And every lounge I go into, 99.9% of the time, they're friendly, welcoming. They're like, hey, absolutely. And it's anybody. It could be anybody. I was sitting there at a lounge in Pittsburgh. I was at Burn by Rocky Patel in Pittsburgh. And I'm sitting there. I'm in business attire because I just came back from meetings. I'm having a Manhattan. I'm smoking a cigar. And the guy next to me just come in with his girlfriend, having a cigar. And he's drinking like coffee moonshine or whatever. And I'm just talking with him. And it turns out he's a professional poker player, goes to Vegas for like 3 months every year. And he makes his yearly salary in those 3 months.
That's
I'm
crazy.
I go, that's incredible. Like I would have never guessed that was his job. I never knew that.
Exactly.
But it's crazy how it's, did I just cut out?
Yeah, we lost you.
We lost you.
I'm back. Sorry, I had a phone call. But yeah, it's amazing how it's like that. All different walks of life. It's so welcoming. Everybody is friendly. So
that's what really turned me on.
If you guys I'll give you a quick story of how I started my page.
Yeah, absolutely.
I smoked cigars, obviously, since I was 10 years old. I'm 50 now, so
the big 5-0, half a century old.
Over the hill.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. So here,
he's at the top. He's not over it yet. He's right at the top.
I don't know. I'm slipping down pretty quick. So my daughter went to Florida, and a lot of people know by seeing some of my posts, but I had a family page. I didn't know anything about Instagram. I have no social media. I have nothing. I didn't give a fuck about that shit. I was too busy working. So my daughter says, we'll do an Instagram page. I found out they got an Instagram page, what they're doing. I'm looking into it. And I said, well, let's do one. I can communicate with you, in a different aspect kind of. And so I started a family page, and every picture I got a fucking cigar hanging on my mouth. We're on the beach. I got a cigar. We're here. And I get this DM from this guy. He says, buddy, I love your page, but can you start a cigar page? There's a cigar world out there that you don't know about. And this was 3 years ago. And I said, well, I know the cigar world is huge, but he says, no, start a page. Trust me, you'll love it. People will follow you. And I remember the transition from my family page and telling everybody, hey, I'm moving over. And I think you guys were pretty close to following me back then too.
I've been following you for a while. I mean,
yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you guys were in that, and a few other people followed my family page, came over. It was honoring. And so I went over, and it turns out this guy keeps DMing me. I'm like, what the fuck's this shit? And so then he sees me. I post my mug one day. And he says, holy fuck, are you in Niagara Falls? I said, yeah. He lives in Niagara Falls. So this guy's a jewelerist, and I need a ring for my anniversary for my wife, and boom, we hook up and we're talking, and I thought he was away across the country, but he actually lives here. So I started going over there and hanging out, learning more about Instagram, learning more about the page. And that's Blue Goldman, and he's in Niagara Falls here.
Wow.
And so I started learning more and more and more about Instagram. And then I met Lady Cigar and went up to Toronto. It was one of my first followers that I met up with. And you guys know I've met up with a ton of followers. And I forget followers, family, friends. You know, I met up with a ton of people that I met on Instagram. And, you know, Dan Hartman and Cigar Lover 12 and all these people in Miami and everywhere and all over the place. And that just sparked with me. You know what I mean? I love meeting up with people and you know, I met up with her in Toronto and we're having a great time and she came to my house, my new house. So, you know, I started becoming friends with a lot of people. And like Saad said, when we all had the communication before, is you guys are over there. We haven't met yet, but we're already friends. Justin, you were in Niagara Falls one time on your birthday. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm right over the bridge. You want to come over? And then you said, oh, it's my girlfriend. I said, yeah, I'm out of the picture.
I
remember that.
I'm not fucking with that.
I went to Toronto like 2 summers ago, and you were.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm going to Niagara Falls, and you're like, hey, man, I'm gonna be right here. And I was like, I'm with my buddy, my girlfriend, my buddy's family. I'm like, I just can't separate. Was like,
but look how easy this is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But guess what? Like we talked about on our last communication, we're going to meet up. We're going to hook up in New York City. I go to New York City all the time. I go to California. I mean, I just love it. Miami's one of my good hot spots. But that's how it started. My daughter was going to St. Augustine or Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida. And you guys seen my post where I had my motorhome there. She was living out of it, and I just kept doing it. And what I do, let me tell you something. I drink lead in the morning once in a while. I like to have my coffee, and I like to have a lead there, and I like to have a cigar. And boom, I down it. And because being a detective, I work days, I work nights, so everybody's like, how the fuck do you drink? I'm not drinking while I'm working. What I'm doing is I just got off work, and it's 6 a.m, and I just got home. So I'm having a shot.
What could you tell us, like what department, like a detective you are? Or
criminal. So basically homicide, larcenies, any crime pretty much.
Okay.
So I've been a criminal detective for a long time. Love the department, love the people I work with. There's ups and downs to the job. Has it changed me? Has it altered me? Absolutely.
My uncle says this. My uncle was a narcotics detective, and he says the same exact thing.
It absolutely changed you. It's going to change you because guess what? When you're a positive person, I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a positive person. I love my family and all that. I have my own sins. Everybody has their shit. But when you're doing a job that you constantly see negativity, you're constantly called to negativity and people at their worst, it starts building up. You know what I mean? But the problem is people don't see that. You know, and some people can handle the environment and some people can't. And I just think it's a fantastic job. It's honorable. It's just like the service, like the military, it's like the doctors, like the nurses, firemen. But guess what? There's people that are keeping us alive with the technology, building the respirators, building the masks that we don't even hear about.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all have an important part in our life, in general. And when we have pandemics like this, I feel that it's nice to see people coming together. You know, all the other guys that are looting all that, they're just lost. Don't judge them. Hit them with the law. The law's there for a reason. Don't judge, just hit them. There's a law there, hit them. Boom. So we're all coming together. Everybody's staying at home. There's a lot of people staying at home, having trouble, difficulties, getting frustrated. God, I think when this is all over, the divorce lawyers are going to be making the most money.
Exactly what I said. I said the divorce rate and the participants in Alcohol Anonymous is going to go straight up. I mean,
oh yeah. But I think it's a good thing you said that people are getting frustrated at home, and
absolutely.
I think that people need to realize in times like these, and I've put a post up about this, where people need to be grateful and appreciative for the things that they have, because so many people are frustrated, like, oh my God, I can't leave my house. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. There's thousands, if not, there's millions of people that don't have a house to be locked in.
Yeah.
Right. And so many people are just complaining about, or like the stimulus checks come out and they say, oh, this doesn't going to pay rent. I'm like, do you realize that there's some people that can't pay rent on a regular basis, let alone
Look at
right
San
now when they're not
Francisco right
working.
now with all the homeless. Look at
Yeah, I
San
go, you just got to
Francisco.
be grateful. Like, the government doesn't have to send you a check.
Money.
They're
Just
doing
be
it.
thankful.
They're
You
doing
got
it.
it.
Yeah, you're getting a free check for not doing anything, right? And people are just they're always looking for something to complain about, right? Because misery loves company. They don't want to do anything to solve the problem. They just want to complain about the problem.
Yeah,
I'm like, you gotta stop doing that. Stop looking at problems. Start looking at solutions, and stop being a complainer and start being someone who's appreciative for the little things that you have.
Exactly.
Well, Justin, with you saying that is exactly what I was talking about, my line of work. You're coming into somebody's place or somebody's home and you're telling them what to do when they expect more and they think they're deserving of more. But yet there's laws stipulating certain things and certain regulations that we're bound to. You know, I know a lot of people in my community know me, and a lot of people who met me, brothers and sisters of the Leaf that met me, know who I am. I'm legit with it. We should all be respected. You know what I mean? We should all respect each other. And there's some people that just don't. And guess what? You know what? Hit them with the law. You know, hit them with
I always just say too. I always go, Mike. I'm like, listen. It's like you said. You know, I always just say the big man upstairs has a funny way of correcting things. Karma's a bitch, right?
Yeah.
You know, just like you said, don't judge them. Just they may be going down a different path, and that's the way that their life has to take them for them to come back around and you know, see what's important. But I always just say, let them, if that's what they're doing, don't judge them. Just
They'll figure it out,
can,
or they won't.
When you
they'll figure out how they won't. You could try. You can only help somebody who wants to be helped. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they don't want it, then just, it is what it is. Karma's a bitch. It'll come back and they'll figure it out eventually.
When you guys asked me to be on your show, we've talked a few times prior, and that's what I want to come on your show to tell everybody in our community, our cigar community, the whiskey community, the bourbon, everything in moderation. I mean, there's times where Saad and I had a good night where we didn't do anything in moderation, and trust me, we were fucking hurting.
I heard about that night. I heard you guys had a good time.
Oh, we were hurting, but you know, this community, this is what I love about what we're doing. We're all together. We you know, yeah, we have our fakes. Okay. You know, I'm not going to judge them, but we're all together. There's a very good amount of people that just stick together and just love talking to each other and communicate to each other. And you know what? I find it fascinating because I'm available to retire soon. I'm going to meet a lot of people. I'm just going to go out there and just start traveling once this is all over and start meeting some of our friends, you guys included in what we discussed, and a ton of people. It's a beautiful community. The show you guys are doing, I think, is fantastic. It's this is what we need. What are we doing? We're sitting here having a cigar. We're all at home. Everybody's supposed to be quarantined. Everybody's trapped. I'm in my motorhome. Some people don't have this. Okay, some people are on the fucking street. You know what I mean? But let me tell you something. If I was on the street, I'd beg for a cigar and I'd beg for some bourbon. I'd say cheers. So,
That's
cheers,
it, man. Amen to that, brother.
I love it. Speaking of cheers, I got to.
Let's.
So I wanted to ask you this. So speaking of cheers, and I love the point. You know, being appreciative, and we could go down that path and continue to talk about it for another hour, because I know all of us have the like mindset, and we could just go off on that. But one thing I did want to ask you is, and it's speaking of this right here, we all know, everybody knows you like your lead. You like your lead strong. You're basically drinking diesel fuel, okay? Yeah. What are some of your favorite drinks? What's some of your favorite bourbons?
Best drink I ever like is the moonshine I used to get from Tennessee and stuff like that.
Oh, that's the White Lightning. That's the
White Lightning.
Pump it into your veins.
You give me White Lightning, I love it. I wish we could fucking produce that everywhere. I love that shit. But some of my best bourbons, you're asking me, Justin?
Yeah. So best lead. So whether it be bourbon, whether it be whiskey, what's some of your
well,
favorite?
I'm definitely a bourbon
drinks?
guy. I'm definitely a bourbon guy, and Blantons is on the top there.
Oh yeah.
Mickers. I think I said that right. Weller. I like Weller. The Scotches, I like Macallan Gold. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that I'm not knowledgeable about as much as cigars, but I just drink it. If you send it to me, and you drink and I drink it and I don't like it, it's the same concept. Rums. I got some rums that I got into, and I'm not a big fan of rum. I kept boasting that to people, but I had this Is it the Diplomat, I believe, or
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not a big rum
No,
guy.
I
I'm
know
not sure.
it's in the green bottle. It has the white label.
and I drank that, and you know, it was good for one. You know what I mean? But that's an after dinner drink that I enjoyed. So you're looking at bourbons. I'll tell you right now, and it's not just because we're doing it right now, but this is my first crack at this one here, the Private Select, and fuck, that's a lead I'm going to enjoy. I'm gonna start enjoying that. You know why? I want one that I drink kicks me in the ass, and that kicks you in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
I need to be woken up. I need to enjoy it. I need to feel all the flavors. I need to feel the heat. I need to sweat. I need to be ready to pass out.
So what about any clear liquors? Do you like any vodkas? Do you like any tequilas? Do you anything like that?
No, you know, there's a bar in Miami that I go to, Espaniolano, or I don't want to embarrass these guys, not say their name right, but I always hang out there. And that was with Ibis hanging out there. And they brought out tequila all the time, and it was a fantastic tequila because the tequila I drank when I was 19 years old got me deathly ill. But they brought out some tequila that was fantastic. And I wish I could remember the name of it. Don Juan or
Don Julio?
Don Julio?
Don Julio was a silver, I think it was. I don't know. It might have been that one. Anyways, it was a good tequila. Not a tequila fan. Vodkas, I went on a little stretch of vodka, but it doesn't agree with me too good. So no, I'm not a big vodka fan. Rums.
I'm not really into the clear bit. I like tequila. I like taking shots of tequila. I don't really like vodka, but tequila, I feel like I want to get more involved in. I feel like tequila is like a fun alcohol.
That's when I'm out partying, I'm hanging out with people in a bar, maybe.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
we're also talking about that. I'm going on the downhill, so I don't do that as much as I used to.
Well, I like tequilas.
Like
Tequilas are good because I like the different like with tequilas is you have the Blanco, Reposado, and you have Añejo as well. So a lot of the Blancos, like everybody knows me. They found out that I like tequila when I'm doing shots, and they just challenge me to tequila shots, and I'm doing shots left and right, killing a half a bottle with Instagram challenges.
Yeah.
But with the Añejos, it's more of like this, where you pour an Añejo into a snifter, and you're sipping on it.
Yeah.
And you're not doing shots of it. You're just sipping on it. And the flavors are great. I know my mother's a huge tequila person, and she's knowledgeable in the different tequilas, and she's got a collection. She's got a journal, and she keeps notes of it. But definitely, I want to start trying to pair some tequilas with cigars because I heard that they go well with Cubans.
I read it. I just finished reading the Ultimate Cigar book, the 4th edition, and there was a section called Cigars and Spirits. And there was a whole portion where it talks about tequilas being a good pairing with cigars. And I sent it to Justin. I was like, listen, you might need to get involved with more tequilas because
a good tequila is clean. That's the thing. A good tequila can be clean. And I watched Justin with the tequilas. That's why I challenge you to a shot with bourbon. Fuck you on the tequila.
I have second cousins that are from Mexico, and I have an Uncle Juan, and he's straight from Mexico. And he came up last Christmas, and he was just drinking tequila on the rocks the whole night. No, just like it was water. He was just drinking it. And I was like, man, I really want to have a conversation with him to just know what tequilas he likes.
I think I was 18 years old and drank a dirty tequila with a worm in it. And for $500, I ate the worm. And you know what? As Sai would say, I was going to be hospitalized. It was fucking bad.
Yeah, baby.
Easiest $500 you made, though.
Oh, no, it wasn't that easy because I spent the night throwing up, I think. I remember
tequilas were. I remember a time I was in college, and we'd always have like rookie parties. We take the rookies out on the basketball team. We take them out for a good time, and they had found out that I like tequila. So like,
is that called hazing?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I can say it now. Because I'm not in college anymore. Not doing
statute limitations ran out.
So we'd always go to we go to the bars, whatever. So they found out I like tequila. They go, oh, I want to do a shot with you. Let's do some tequila. So I remember that they got the round, and it was like 8 of us doing it. Do tequila, and I'm like, it was gross. It was terrible. I'm like, what the heck? I go, was that? They go, oh, what did you get? They said, it was just the well shit. I'm like, I shook my head. I said, you guys want to do another one? They said, yeah, let's do another one. So they went to go order. I said, hold on, I'll get this one. So I went to the girl, and we were in some college bars. The only thing they had was like Patron. That was like the top of the. So I'm like, listen, can I get a Patron, please? Line up 8 more. Can you chill them, please? She goes, you know, it's like $8 a shot. And I'm like, I know how much it is. Don't tell me. I know. Just give me the freaking tequila. So she lines the tequila up, chilled, nice, and she goes, do you want salt in the lime? And I go, no. And the guys are like, where's salt? I said, you don't need it. Don't. You're a man. You're a man. Don't be doing salt and lime. I said, just take the shot. So they down it and they go, that wasn't tequila. I said, yeah, that was good tequila. I said, that's like what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing. And that wasn't even like the top of the line tequila. That's just what they had that was the best at that time. And they go, wow, that was delicious. I said, yeah, because the well stuff is for making margaritas and whiskey and tequila sunrises, not for doing shots of it.
That goes back to what we talked about earlier in this conversation of cigars. I was smoking cheap ass cigars, and then a few years back, maybe I got into the high end cigars and I spoiled myself. If you're having a high end bourbon, high end tequila, or anything like that, there's a big difference. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There's a big difference, and a big difference to a good quality cigar. Look at, I mean, this sucker is still burning. I don't do the long ash like you guys do, but there's a big difference in that. See, I don't.
Well, look at this.
I know.
I couldn't even ash it if I tried.
I ashed mine like 3 times already.
You know
I only just started because I held it down. I put it down on the side and it wouldn't fall. And I go, well, shit, I guess I got to try it now because it's not.
This is a good cigar to do an ash.
Oh, no doubt.
It's solid.
Could be a future.
I can't do the lower ends anymore. You know what I mean? If you were to give me that well fucking shit, oh, God.
See, I do it like I keep because we get those cigars every once in a while. Like when we go to Cigar Fest, you come home with 150 plus cigars. And there's, I break them up into thirds. There's a third of them that are going to be good sticks that we enjoy. There's a third that are in the middle that are like, they're all right. And then there's a third, like there might be golfing sticks that you just take out if you want to just get a couple of puffs. And then there's the bottom third that are not really that great. You're not going to enjoy them because we're used to the higher end. But I'll still hold on to those cigars and I put them in a separate humidor. And it's for when the people that come over that see that we smoke cigars and they say, hey, can I get one of those?
And they don't know shit about it.
And they don't know anything. I said, do you smoke cigars? No, not really. I just want to have a cigar. I'm like, all right, go into that humidor, take anything you want. And I'm not worried about giving away a high quality, high end stick. And they love it because they're not going to tell the difference of it. So
they have no fucking clue.
They got no clue.
Well, let me say this. This is the portion of the episode where I usually have to bring Justin back in because he's just getting so carried away. I'm like, but I mean, we're coming to like the end of it. So we had there's one question I've been wanting to ask because we talked about it last time. It's kind of like a 2-parter. One, I want to know what it was like working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I want to kind of know like your workout regimen that you have. I want to because I mean, obviously you're a big dude. You're still working in the gym, cranking out the iron. I mean, first, what was it like working with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and how do you still work out today?
Okay, you guys know that I just recently had surgery on this arm.
Yeah.
On the job, I tore it, and here I tore this one completely off here, and tore this here in my pec major about 10 centimeters. It was completely torn up. So the older you get, obviously, you're going to hurt more. When I was younger, I wish I knew some of the stuff I know now, and I'd work out different. But I never technically worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody sees that picture and thinks I did. I was in a gym with him in Cleveland, Ohio for one of his shows. I went to his show with the Warden. And
I love how you refer to her as the Warden. I love that. That's hilarious.
She's the boss, buddy. I ain't going to fucking even...
Everybody, I don't care who you talk to. They can say that. No, a woman is always the boss,
man. I've been together almost 30 years. So we were in Cleveland, Ohio, and it was one of his shows, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And I went to a gym that night. She stayed in the hotel, and I went to the gym. They happened to be there, and it was impressive. That wasn't when I got the picture. When I got the picture, was just the same thing that everybody else gets. I walked up, and but the good thing about my thing is the Warden jumped in line in front of me. She loves Arnold Schwarzenegger and says, fuck you. She jumped in line, threw all her stuff on me and jumped in line for a picture with him. She moved aside. I hand her all the stuff. I jump up. He says, can I take a break for a minute? I said, absolutely. So me and him got to talk. And it was awesome because we're off camera. We're talking for a second. Then I take my picture with the guy. So it was fantastic. I think he's a great guy. He come to this country and made a success of himself. Working out regiment, the 2-part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to work out every day. I used to, when I was younger, work out twice a day. I'm not an expert like some of these people that work out, and I work out so I don't kill nobody.
It's
I
the
work
greatest
out.
therapy there is, man.
It's the greatest therapy for me. I go in the gym and I just grab the weights, and I don't really have a system. I don't have a workout routine. I just want to throw. I just want to throw weight. I want to hit it. With a couple of injuries, I've been backed off a little bit, but guess what? I'm still going at it. You know, I do workouts. You can turn a workout into cutting wood. You can turn a workout into anything. People understand that, but the eating is appropriate. I do eat very rare do I eat junk. I cut right back through the week, and on the weekends I do whatever the fuck I want. As much as you guys see me drinking, people say, "Oh my God, Cigar Boss Man, he's drinking a ton." I have a shot in the morning. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
I have my cigar, maybe two a day. On the weekend, like right now, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh yeah.
Monday, I'm going to hit it hard again. You know, so I hope that clarifies for the. I don't want to misrepresent my page. There's no fakeness about my page, or I see you guys don't have you guys are the same way. I just want to enjoy myself. I work out hard. I eat properly. Sometimes I don't. So everything's in moderation, I guess.
What I get from you is that you just do what you want to do. You don't really abide by anyone else's assumptions, rules. You kind of just, you smoke what you want, you drink what you want, you work out what you want, but you do it all in the way you want it, without any kind of like crossing.
Eric, I'd love to say I'm a king and tell everybody to fuck off, but I got some rules. There is
but I like that. It's like, you know, because Eric and I are both into fitness and staying healthy as well, and it's kind of the same thing where it's Monday to Friday. You kind of focus on, you might slip up, you have, snack here and there, but you try to stay clean throughout Monday to Friday.
Exactly.
And on the weekends, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bar, and I'm gonna have 4 or 5 beers with wings, or I'm gonna have a slice of pizza. Because I worked my ass off for the week. Now I can cheat a little bit, but then come Monday,
get back in the game. You better get back in the game. The key word is moderation. Do I always do moderation? No, I fuck up sometimes. But the key thing to everything is moderation. And with working out, sometimes even on weekends I work out. Sometimes I work 7 days a week working out, because it was a rough week maybe, and I want to get in the gym just to feel the weights. If there's any addiction I have, forget the alcohol, forget the cigarettes or cigars. It's weights. I love going in there, and I don't have to, I'm 50, as we discussed. I don't have to pump like these young guys. I just like to hold the weights. Now you guys see my stories. Can I lift? Yeah, I can lift. I've been doing it since I was freaking 17 years old.
There's something about just grabbing weights and just putting them over your head and just getting that stretch.
I love it.
I loved it. Well, that's why when everybody had, like, when I was always into like powerlifting. I was always trying to, like, now obviously we can't go anywhere, but I always liked, there was something about just putting heavy ass weight on the bar and lifting, or like my favorite was deadlift. There was something about putting 400 or 500 pounds on the bar and just lifting that shit off the ground.
Never deadlifted in my life, maybe twice.
I hate deadlifting.
It's a big exercise. It's a great exercise.
Yeah.
But you just said a key word, though, now that we can't go to the gym. Believe it or not, I'm doing some, I don't want to say weird shit because people will yell at me for saying it, but I'm doing, yoga and a couple other things, believe it or not. I love the stretching aspect, and health is health. We're polluting our bodies, whether we believe it or not, we are, but there's some health aspects to doing other things, and you have to balance it. So yeah, right now I'm not going to the gym. I'm doing lighter weight. I just recovered from a surgery. I'm doing a lot of lighter weight. And you know what? I discovered that, I used to go to the gym and just pound it. You guys see some pictures. I pounded some weights. When I go back to the gym, I think I'm just going to balance it out. And then you know what's going to happen? I'm just going to get stupid and hit.
And you're going to pound some weight. Yeah, because you're going to be like, no, fuck. I wanted to ask.
I'm a machine. I'm a machine.
I was going to the gym. I was going to the gym at like 5 o'clock in the morning for the last 2 or 3 months. I was getting up at 4:30, going to the gym at 5, going to work. I loved it. I love waking up early and getting up before. I love being dark and no one going to the gym and there's no one there. And I'm like, man, this is great. Get my workout in and I start my whole day, and then I don't have to worry about working out later. I mean, it was just a great freaking feeling. Just I watched a video. It was a guy who was in the military. He's like a popular YouTube military guy, and he talks about how he has family and other responsibilities, and the only time he has for himself is at 4:30 in the morning when he goes to the gym. I'm like, you know what? I don't have as many responsibilities as this guy, but I kind of feel the same way. I'm always so busy. I can't ever go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym when there's a million people at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
I do that. I need my sleep. I need my beauty sleep. Look at this fucking.
I'm a double negative. I like this. I like to stay up late and I like to wake up early. So it doesn't really work out for me, but I make it. I figure it out.
Make it happen.
I'm the same way. Me and Saad talk sometimes through the middle of the night, and Anna from Cigar and Chase Fire or whatever, I believe that's her handle. I don't sleep. So that's my biggest weakness, I think, is not sleeping as much as I should for bodybuilding and whatever. But I'm not a celebrity. I don't have to do what The Rock and everybody else does. I have to do what I do and what I enjoy, and that's what's going to happen. As Justin, you said, I'm not breaking rules, but I'm making my rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're coming to the close of everything now.
I figured that. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to talk for fucking 8 more hours.
Oh, I know.
It was great talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And socializing. So you know what? Maybe we'll have to end it with a shot.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Hang on. Let me catch up.
We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you telling us your story and everything that what makes Shawn the cigar boss man. So I mean, I think I take it from me and Justin that thank you for taking the time out of your day to just hang out with us.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. So we want to send this off to Shawn. We want to thank everybody for watching. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Head over to Shawn's page at Cigar Boss Man. We'll put it right up on the screen. Give him a follow. And Shawn, here's to you, brother.
More importantly, just shoot Shawn a message and say thank you for putting your life on the line every single day. While most people stay home.
God bless.
Absolutely. God bless.